But I'm grateful for the experience that I had with addiction because it brought me closer to God and it brought me into a place of service and help for others in order to stay sober. That's the
Right.
whole concept that I work in my recovery. So because my life has been so incredible, I don't know if I'd have the life that I have today if I were not partying really hard in New York City.
Welcome to this episode of Bits by Bacon. I am your host, Misty Renner with Bacon Realty Group. And with me today is my friend, Lanier Young. He is the executive director of the Wheelhouse in Deer Park, Texas, a nonprofit helping men overcome addiction through a faith-based recovery program. Thank you, Lanier, for joining me today.
Thank you, Misty, for having me. It's good to see you. I feel like
You
I haven't
too.
seen you in a year, but I know it's been just a few months. We
This
used to
is
work
true.
together with Jane around the world, and I feel like, where have I been? I haven't seen you in a while.
You've been busy. You've been doing videos. So let's start with how did you come connected with the Wheelhouse?
I sobered up in the wheelhouse. I am a recovered alcoholic, drug addict. I have not used or drank drugs in an alcoholic way in 17 years. I came to the
Oh,
wheelhouse March 24th, 2009. I stayed at the wheelhouse for 7 months. I lived there. I did everything that the wheelhouse told me to do. One of which was take the steps of the 12 steps that originated in Alcoholics Anonymous. That's our focus. That's where you
right,
get the faith base because we
right.
focus on a relationship with God and a relationship with those around us. Sound familiar? The golden rule? Love God,
Yes.
love your neighbor. That's what we focus
Yep.
on. And I did everything I was told to do there. And after 7 months, moved out. And I stayed in Deer Park, where the wellhouse is. And I've been sober and clean ever since. In 2017, the board of
Hmm.
directors asked me if I would be interested in being the executive director, only because I was constantly around doing fundraising and
Right.
helping out behind the scenes. And so in 2018, I started as the executive director. That's the connection, the
Yes.
service that I was doing around the wellhouse for years.
That's awesome. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
In 2020, some fundraising was down. A lot of things happened in 2020, but you started doing something fun. Tell us about your Instagram success and becoming a major influencer.
In 2020, in March, right? That's when it happened. Everything was shut down, including the wheelhouse, so no one could leave and no one could come in.
Oh,
However, I take that back. Residents were told if you have to leave, you have to leave, but no one's able to come in. So the doors were shuttered. And our program of recovery is dependent on peer led, one on one work. And
okay.
so, if our 12-step recovery meetings go away, if our circle up and hold hands
Hmm.
and pray goes away, with visitors and people coming from the outside to
Right.
mentor and sponsor, then
Sure.
where is my program? And then, of course, the donations dried up.
Right.
And what was really interesting, though, I got to tell you, what was really interesting was the corporate company donations dried up, and we do not
Mm,
have a government stream of funding.
right.
However, the individual in kind and cash and check writing increased because people who love the wheelhouse at that time were, what's going on over there? Can I help?
Right.
Excuse me. So I want to say it was about 2 months in. I was thinking, I called a friend of mine with Fun Love Media, a social media company. She and I did some theater work together for a couple of years before I sobered up. And I asked her to help me. And she said, how about we start with branding you? And so we were looking at what is the Wheelhouse and what is Lanier Young. It's all about prayer, service, and recovery. So let's focus on those three things and go
Sure.
on social media. And the only thing you post now, Lanier, on social media is recovery, prayer, and and service to others.
Right.
And just stick with that unless you want to do something fun because that gets a lot of traction. And
Yes.
so I went down to the swimming pool and I started videotaping myself saying one-liner jokes in the swimming pool. And that took off a little bit. And then when I started driving back and forth around town and meeting people outside and saying, write me a check for the wheelhouse, I started doing those lip sync videos, total
Oh
lip
my gosh.
sync. And
Those
that,
were the
that
best.
took off. 300, I think I started on TikTok, and TikTok kicked me off at one point because I did something in the swimming pool on TikTok, and so I didn't have a shirt on, so it was
Oh.
flagged or something for
Gotcha.
nudity. Someone thinks they want to see this. So
Right.
anyway, so I went over to Instagram, and within 6, 9 months, it got up to 350 plus thousand followers. And I just
That's
recently
amazing.
went back on Instagram because I took like a year hiatus. And I've got people over in Russia and people in South America asking, "Where have you been? We love you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Te amo di Americano."
And then you are now training for the Houston Half Marathon, which is in January. And you just told me that you have recently strained your knee, hurt your knee, overusing it.
Yeah,
Is
what is
this?
that? What's it called? Bursitis, I think it is. I've got fluid, something
Yeah.
around my left knee. Because a 59-year-old is not supposed to be running, I don't know. So that's what my doctor said. Why are you running? I said, here's the deal. I'm sitting with a lady who helps me and the Wheelhouse with a little bit of PR, not much, a couple of $100 worth of PR and reaching out. And one of the things that she was able to help us with at the Wheelhouse is we are, for 2027, January, the Houston Marathon, Chevron Marathon, we are one of the named charities. So right now,
Oh,
anyone who wants to run at the marathon can go to the Run for a Reason or
okay.
Houston Marathon, and I'll send you the link. And you can sign up to run and select the Wheelhouse as the charity you're running for, which means you raise 500 plus dollars and you don't have to pay anything for your registration. That's what that means. And so
Perfect.
I'm talking to this lady who's helping me with PR, and I said, you know, what would be a good idea is with the followers I have on my personal and the followers we have on
Mhm.
Wheelhouse, maybe I should on social media announce that I'm training for the half marathon. I can't run a
Right.
marathon, Misty. I don't
Right.
know. I don't even know if I can run a half marathon, but I'm going to do it. If I have to take 4 hours walking it, I'm going to do it. So I'm now a runner raising money for the Wheelhouse. So
Yay. And I think I might have already contributed, but if not, I will for sure contribute.
thank you, thank you. And so we're going to
Yeah.
be pushing that a lot in the next couple of months. Yeah.
Okay. So with you're psyching yourself up, but you've done a video. So are you going to continue to do videos between now and the actual marathon?
Yeah, someone asked me the
Half
other day,
marathon.
why did you not videotape the injury? I've got some pictures of my knee. I don't know how I'm going to work that into some social
Yeah.
media posts. However, I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to continue it. I
Okay,
was
good.
thinking I was going to post every day, but that seemed kind of, I'm going to post
It's
at
a
least
lot.
every other day.
That's a lot.
I get back on the treadmill. I got back on the treadmill yesterday, but I'm going to push it today to walking 4 miles today. So I'll get a video out there.
Okay, at the Wheelhouse, y'all have a new location. How old is this new building? It's a state of the art,
We
amazingly
don't
in good
necessarily
health.
have a new location. We started out at 206 West Helgra in Deer Park, Texas, and then we acquired property next door at 210 West Helgra and replatted the land. And so we have one piece of property. We do not have any other
Got it.
locations. However, what you're
Got it.
talking about is 3 years ago, we built a sober living home, a two-story addition that is attached to. Now,
Got
the
it.
current wheelhouse that we have that houses 50 men, 50 beds in that facility, there's two phases. One phase
Mhm.
is 30 days. The other phase is a dormitory residential for up to 3 months, if not more, needed. That facility was built in 2015, and that
Okay.
is state of the art. And then the sober home houses 24 men, 2 men to a bedroom. They pay a little bit more in their
Mhm.
weekly rent for those beds. So a total of 74, 75 men in
Wow.
that facility. A 2 point, here, are you asking because you're a real estate guru? $2.6 million facility.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
A 580, actually our budget this year is $620,000, but between 580 and $600,000 operating to run that facility over the
Wow.
past 3 years.
And do y'all have, similar to Jane Around the World, but do people come and cook the food for you, or the men have rotating duties? What does that look like?
Yeah, that's a fun little challenge whenever giving, caring, supportive organizations and churches and companies reach out and say, we want to do something.
Mhm.
Shell was just recently there building out a portion of our garden, planting some water plants in a retention pond. We've had Albemarle come in. We've had several of the petrochemical and construction companies around come in with work days. Now,
Mhm.
the ones that I really enjoy are the churches that come out and do what you're talking about. Bring a meal, prepare a meal in our kitchen, donate a meal, depending on the person power of the group that's coming, whether they can handle the cooking or the serving
Right.
or the just dropping it off. We have Parkgate Community Church. I love Parkgate. Is the one that has been consistent for almost 4 years now. One Saturday out of the month comes. Of all these churches that come, and all these companies and corporations that come, one of the things I tell all of them, and I'll tell anyone who's listening who might be interested in pulling a group of people together and baking some brownies or bringing a meal or whatever, what we're looking for is not food, because we have way too much food in this country. We do food rescuing, Misty. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
we go to half a dozen restaurants and 2 or 3 grocery stores and one pantry every week and pick up food that's going to be thrown out, but is still good. We don't need food. What we need is fellowship and prayer. That's what we need. So people like the churches that I've mentioned that I really appreciate, and Shell this past week, experienced the same thing. It's one thing to come and serve the meal. It's one thing to come and dig holes and plant plants, but it's another thing to hang out with the guys. Hang out with the
For sure.
guys and say, hey, how you doing?
For sure.
What's going on? How'd you get here? All right, keep doing what you're doing. I go to this church over here. I work over here. Give me a call if you want. I'll stop by and say hi to you later. Just get that
Yeah,
conversation started.
for sure.
We're
And I
big on we're
know,
big on peer-led recoveries. Those of us in our community who are not in recovery from addiction, who still want to help out, we don't need preaching.
right,
We don't need handouts. We don't need
right.
blankets and socks. Actually, we do need socks, sorry. What we need is support and care and encouragement. That's what we need. And prayer. That's what we need.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. I do know there is I'll say his name, Troy Cawthorn with Victory Properties. He uses you guys to do landscaping and projects around the house. And so I don't know how often he uses you, but
Yeah,
I
what
know
you're
a few
talking
people.
about is there is an opportunity for people who call the Wheelhouse, the main number, and they can select one of the extensions that says day labor. There's not a day labor coordinator. What that phone number takes you to when you select day labor, when you call the main number and select day labor, it goes to men who have not found a job yet. And so you say, look, I want some drywall done. Is there anybody who can do some drywall? And the guy will say, I've never done drywall. Let me go find someone who might have. So
Yeah,
you're not hiring an expert. You're not hiring somebody who
sure.
necessarily knows 100% what they're doing, but you're hiring good labor. Troy
Right.
will bring them in, not to build out a pergola,
Sure.
whatever, but he'll bring them in they're really good about labor. Yes, I will paint. Yes, just tell me what to do.
Yes.
Give me the brush. Tell me what
Yes.
to
I
do.
love that. It's the community helping the community.
And those
We're
men, after
helping.
30 days, we who are at the Wheelhouse, the first 30 days is free. We don't have any government funding coming in. The donations that come in from the community pay for these men to work on recovery, a relationship with God, a power greater that they know, that they understand, that they may not understand, just connect with God, period.
Right.
And
Right.
also work with a relationship with the community for 30 days at no cost. And then after 30 days, they need to pay $90 a week for their bed. We're not going to kick them out if they don't have a job. We're not
Right.
going to kick them out if they get behind on their rent, but let's find you a job. And while they're looking for the job, they don't have money for their rent and they want to pay their rent. So they go
Sure.
over to someone's house like Troy and
Yeah.
help tear down a fence or cut some grass, and
Right.
they make $60. Pay them at least $20 an hour.
Yeah.
Don't come by the Wheelhouse and pick them up for $5 an hour and a cheeseburger.
Oh my goodness. What of someone, maybe it's you, but the biggest success story, someone that has come through the program and was the biggest success? And you don't have to say their name, but just they come in, go through the program, and now they're the president, CEO of XYZ company. I don't know. Just what is your biggest
Well, we don't have
success?
we don't have anyone that I know is the president and CEO of anything. Oh, I do. I do. There's a man named No Names. There's a man who's on our board of directors who was at the Wellhouse for a couple of months years ago. He started a company. I'll name the company ICS, Integrated Circuit Solutions, and they are a huge success. Yeah, he's
That's
an owner
awesome.
of that company. I just don't know. He plays a lot of golf, so I don't know what position he holds. The one most recently that has really impressed me is man named Mark. I'll say his first name, And he has been clean and sober long enough to get married in sobriety and have 3 children, maybe 4,
Wow.
but he has at least 3 children that I know of. And he is part of our alumni association. We have a strong alumni association of men who have been clean and sober, who raise money to help the Wheelhouse and also do community work in the area. And he is chair of their fishing tournament, which is coming up. That, I will tell you, I'll send you this link as well. There is a different website for the Alumni Association. There's a fishing tournament coming up in
Okay.
June that is impressive. Guaranteed $1,000 prize for each of the 4 categories of fish that they take in for
Okay.
first place. It's impressive
Wow.
fishing tournament. The wheelhousealumni.org. The
Wow. Okay.
wheelhousealumni.org. But anyway, I'm just impressed by him. But those 2 stories happen every day, every week.
That's great.
You can go on the wheelhouse.org and look at our stories. We're going to be uploading some more videos soon.
And what is the next fundraiser that y'all have coming up that maybe we can help get people out there, bring whatever's needed? I know y'all did a cake. Was it last year? Y'all did a cake. I ended up just donating money because I wasn't able to come. But what's the next event coming that somebody could
Well,
participate in?
Misty, let me tell you something. Please make it this year. It'll be October the 2nd is
Okay.
the Wheelhouse Cake Auction, October the 2nd.
Okay.
35 plus cakes. Some of them go for $2, $3, $4,000. I think the highest was $4,600 one year.
Wow.
We raised between $35,000 and $45,000 in one night
Wow.
off of cakes.
Wow, that's amazing.
But if you don't have $1,000, Misty, come and buy some cupcakes. Yeah, last year we had some folks in recovery make some cupcakes. We had the high school culinary make some cupcakes. It was really kind of cool.
Awesome.
There's a milk bar where you can buy milk and get your milk flavored the way you
Chocolate
want.
milk,
Because
strawberry.
we're not like Bubba Bingo. Have you ever been to Bubba Bingo with the Rotary? I'm a
Yes.
member of Rotary. I'm a
I
member of
went.
Rotary in Deer Park, and Bubba Bingo with all that alcohol. We don't do that at our cake auction. We have a
Milk.
bar full of milk. It's
That's
really kind of
awesome.
cool. But
That's
anyway,
awesome.
the wheelhouse.org, go to events. I will tell you that right now our golf tournament, which was in May, which
Okay.
was the first Friday of May, has been rescheduled to June 19th.
Okay.
That's at the wheelhouse.org. Look at the events. That golf tournament still has opening for players. Then we have the Wheelhouse Alumni Fishing Tournament.
Yeah.
That'll be all at the wheelhouse.org under events with a
Okay.
link to go register at their website. Then we'll have
Okay.
a theater night. The Art Park Players gives us their preview night, Thursday preview night before they open Hairspray. No, yeah, Hairspray this year in
Okay.
July, I think it is. It'll be at the wheelhouse.org. So their preview night, all the proceeds go to us. So we sell
Oh, that's
the tickets.
amazing.
It's really kind of cool. And then we have the cake auction on October the 2nd, and we have the Monument Run, which is a motorcycle run, on October the 3rd. By the way, this weekend we'll be out at the Strawberry Festival. If anyone's going to the Strawberry Festival, stop by the Wheelhouse tent and look at the motorcycle that we are raffling off.
Wow.
Custom
That's impressive.
motorcycle.
That's impressive.
It vibrates.
It makes a cool noise. Speaking of theater, I saw a play that you were in with Mark McVeigh. That was what, 2, 3 years ago?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was,
Maybe more.
I think it was 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Misty, I used to do a lot of directing, and my life has gotten so busy that I have not done any directing in the last three years. I think that was my last. I think that was my last show that I directed at Pasadena Little Theater. Pasadena Little Theater, our local theater, needs all your support. They're doing really nice work over there. They really are. I love Baytown Theater. I've directed there, and Clear Creek Community Theater. I've
Okay.
directed. And so every now and then, when we don't, if I'm directing in a community play and there's not someone to fill a part, I'll step in and do the part. And that's what happened. Mark McVeigh and I were performing on stage because I was directing. And I got to tell you, that was fun because that was Mark's first play.
Oh, I did not know that.
And
Okay.
Mark was panicking because he could not remember all of his lines.
Oh,
And so I said, go ahead and just write them on these little pieces of paper and leave them right here on all the little tables.
Well, he
Actually, I
loved
did the same thing at one point in that play. You never
He
know.
loved
You
it.
go and see a community theater play. Some of us actors are reading our lines off of little pieces of paper left around the stage.
it happens. It happens.
I studied fine arts with a major in theater in college. I moved to New York to be an actor. I lived in New York City for 10 years. I never
I
made
lived
it to
in New York
Broadway.
before. That's awesome.
I never made
I
it.
started doing stand-up comedy in New York in my 20s.
You did stand-up comedy?
I did.
Misty, you did stand-up comedy?
I stood up sometimes too.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I lived in New York for 4 years in my 20s, and my friend, was taking like acting classes and writing classes and things while I had this full-time job. And she throws this magazine at me, and she had circled this. It was a comedy writing class, and the last class is live in front of an audience. So I had to bring 3 people. I think I brought 50 people from my work. Like this place was crammed of all the people that had taken this class with me.
Yep.
One girl was an opera singer. There was this gamut of people that were just taking this class. And I'm telling you, like, it was addictive. The laughs, and the more laughs you
Yes.
get, the sillier. Like, I totally morphed into Robin Williams, the female version of Robin Williams.
Yes. Where did you live in New York?
I lived in Brooklyn under the BQE for 4 years.
I lived in Queens, Sunnyside.
Okay.
I lived in Manhattan the first 6 years I was there, and then the last 4 years I lived in Queens. I love Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn.
It was fun. I always took the subway. And on the way home, I would pick up a pizza and my laundry and all the things. And I was shocked because my mom always did our laundry. But when I would take my laundry and it would be this huge big basket, and when I would get it, it was like compact because they
Yep.
pressed everything down.
Folded
I'm like,
tight.
this is amazing.
Folded tight.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, to this day, my mother's staying with me because she's battling a lot of health challenges. And she asked me just here recently, why do you go shopping so often? Why do you go to the grocery store so often? Just go once a week or once every 2 weeks. And that's left over from being in New York. Me, I like going to the grocery store and picking up because I'm thinking about making something, so I go pick it up. I got that from
Right.
New York.
Refresh.
You
Yeah.
can't keep all the stuff.
No. No. We're gonna
Getting off
post
topic.
we're gonna post the link. We're gonna get people to help contribute and come to your events. I'm gonna be there. I will be there at the October 2nd, and then I probably will not do fishing or golf, but I will definitely support however I can. My final 2 questions that I ask every guest. The first one is, what would you tell your 22-year-old self? What words of wisdom, what nuggets, what experience, what would you tell your 22-year-old self?
Oh, wow. I had fun in my 20s. I think that's where my mid to late 20s is where my alcohol addiction really kicked in when I was living in New York. I had a lot of fun. I don't know if the go-to for me is don't drink so much, but I'm grateful for the experience that I had with addiction because it brought me closer to God and it brought me into a place of service and help for others in order to stay sober. That's the whole
Right.
concept that I work in my recovery. So because my life has been so incredible, I don't know if I'd have the life that I have today if I were not partying really hard in New York City. I would say don't let any of this craziness, don't let any of this fun that you're having in your 20s affect your relationship with God.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because that was the only thing that really I got lost with when I was having fun. The 20s are for fun. I don't know if I'd give myself any. I don't know.
Mine is financial. Like I would say, start investing 401k, the company's 401k match, an IRA, save so you could put 20% down to buy a property. That was my big advice to myself.
Misty, I am someone that you would not be interested in having a conversation with about real estate because I'm irresponsible with money and I really have come to terms with that. That's fine. It runs through my fingers like water. And B, I have never owned a piece of property, Misty. I love the apartment life. The smaller the space to live in, the better. So I would have never, in my early 20s, I would have never heard that. Invest? What?
Right. I will say, I told my husband I'll be 55 in 3 years. I told him, I was like, maybe we keep our house as a rental and we'll move into the over 55 community because they pick up your trash, they have meals, they have all the things. Like,
I
let's just
love
go
it.
work there.
I love it.
They do your yard, all the things, all the
I
fun
love
things.
the concierge life. I really do.
Yes. And my last question is, what do you want to be remembered for?
He helped a lot of people. Yeah. As a member of Rotary and a member of Alcoholics Anonymous and a Christian, that's my purpose in all three of those organizations. The Rotary came to me because when I said help people, the motto in Rotary is service above self. In Alcoholics Anonymous, we focus on our purpose is to stay sober and help others who want to recover from addiction. And our real purpose in Alcoholics Anonymous, as everyone, is to fit ourselves to serve God and those around us. And then as a Christian, what's our greatest commandments? Love God, love your neighbor with all of our heart, mind, body, and soul. So I've learned to do that through not just my faith, but through action in Rotary and action in the Wheelhouse, with the Wheelhouse, action in Alcoholics Anonymous Fellowship of 12-Step Recovery. I would hope that people would say he helped a lot of people.
And
He
you
helped
did.
a lot of people.
You've left a legacy at Jane Around the World, being on the board, helping us get bylaws and all the things in place. So you are living out what you want to be remembered.
Nonprofits don't like to think about all those things, the bylaws and the policies and the rules and the
All the business.
ugh.
We just want to help people, but yes,
just
there is
wanna-
business that goes behind it,
Spend the money on help. We want to help as many people. Yeah.
for sure. I thank you for taking the time to visit with me today. I hope that
What do you
we
want to be
let
remembered
people-
for? What do you want to be remembered
Oh, what
for,
do I want to be
Misty?
remembered for? I want to be remembered for giving the best hugs, being a good listener, and that people felt encouraged. Like when they walked away from me, they felt encouraged.
Oh, I'm on the same page with that last one. The first one, I'm not a hugger. So the next time you see me, just grab me and give me a big bear hug and watch my reaction.
I think now some people are high fivers or knucklers, and that's a big thing now, but I'm still a hugger. So it's funny. Sometimes I'll meet someone for the first time and they're bringing their hand in and they'll grab me and hug me. I'm like, okay, we're hugging. Cool. I'm a hugger. But I respect the person that I'm with because not everybody likes to be hugged like a big bear hug. I think you should share your salvation story. Share something that would make people be better and want to do better. I wish that my prayer is that people that spend all their time doing all the bad things, like the dark web and all the things, turn that into good, and we probably have a cure for every little thing. And it takes more effort. It takes more effort to do all the bad things. It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile.
I agree.
So.
I heard something really interesting here recently. At the time, before all of the internet, at the time that we did not have all of the information that we have today at our fingertips, when we did not have that time, then we did a lot of searching and looking around and feeling our way around and through to learn, right?
Right.
And so we put effort into doing what we really wanted to do, put effort into asking questions and reaching out and experiencing when we really wanted to do something, right?
Right.
And now, because we have everything at our fingertips, the theory that I'm talking about is it's there if we need it, so why go
Right.
look for it? So I'm just going to sit here on my rear end and do what I want.
And do nothing.
And do
And I
nothing.
think I have a friend that I just talked to, and I just don't know career-wise. I don't know what I want to do. And so she's doing nothing. And I was like, just take a step. Go to college, get a job. And if it's wrong, you just pivot into whatever the next step is. But you're not failing if you're trying.
And along the way, I figured this out. Along the way, you're going to figure out not only what does not work, but you're going to discover what does.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
And you don't do
Or
you don't
if
do
you're
that
at
on
one job, you may meet someone that
Yeah.
introduces you to another job, or your
Yeah.
spouse, or whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many scenarios that can happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Had
Well,
fun.
thank
Misty.
you. Thank you again for joining me today.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
And remember, everybody loves bacon. Thanks for hanging out with me on Bits by Bacon. Be sure to follow, leave a review, and send this to that friend who always wants the inside scoop in and around the Houston area. I'll see you next time with more stories, real estate talk, and a little bit of everything in between. And remember, everybody loves bacon.